India is a land steeped in history, spirituality, and diversity, a nation that weaves together countless narratives, languages, and religions. But amidst this mosaic of identities, one question emerges. Is India Hindutva? Hindutva, a socio-political ideology that asserts the cultural and political dominance of Hinduism, has sparked intense debates. Advocates of Hindutva assert that India is fundamentally a Hindu nation, with Hindu culture, customs, and values at its core. Hindutva, a term that has gained prominence in contemporary Indian discourse, refers to the ideology that seeks to establish and promote the cultural and political dominance of Hinduism in India. The concept of Hindutva has generated significant debate, with proponents viewing it as a means to preserve and strengthen Hindu heritage, while critics express concerns about its impact on India's secular fabric and religious pluralism. India's history is characterized by a remarkable plurality of religions, including Hinduism, Islam, Sikhism, Christianity, Buddhism, and Jainism, among others. Throughout the ages, India has embraced and fostered multiple faiths, providing a conducive environment for diverse beliefs to coexist. This historical reality suggests that India's identity cannot be reduced to a singular religious worldview. India's founding fathers envisioned a secular and inclusive nation, as reflected in the country's constitution. The framers of the Indian Constitution sought to safeguard the rights and freedoms of all citizens, regardless of their religious affiliation. This secular foundation ensures that India remains a diverse and tolerant society, where individuals are free to practice and propagate their respective religions. The formation of Hinduism, as a religion, is a complex and gradual process that unfolded over centuries. It is important to note that Hinduism does not have a specific founder or a single authoritative scripture, unlike some other major religions. Instead, it evolved organically through the amalgamation of diverse cultural, philosophical, and religious traditions in the Indian subcontinent. The roots of Hinduism can be traced back to the ancient Indus Valley civilization, which thrived in the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent. While the religious practices of this civilization are not entirely deciphered, some artifacts and symbols suggest the presence of early spiritual beliefs that would later influence Hinduism. Around 1500 BC, Aryan tribes migrated to the Indian subcontinent and brought with them the Vedas, a collection of hymns, rituals, and philosophical ideas. This period, known as the Vedic period, played a crucial role in shaping the foundations of Hinduism. The Rig Veda, the oldest of the four Vedas, contains hymns dedicated to various deities and ritual practices. In more recent centuries, reform movements like the Arya Samaj and the Brahmo Samaj, as well as the teachings of spiritual leaders like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Swami Vivekananda, aim to reinterpret and rejuvenate Hinduism in response to social and religious challenges posed by colonial rule and modernity. Politicians may assert that India is Hindutva for several reasons, depending on their political ideology, electoral strategies, and public sentiment. It is important to note that not all politicians make such claims, and there are diverse political voices in India with varying perspectives on the issue. Vote bank politics, a strategy employed by politicians to secure support from specific groups of voters, has become a prominent feature of electoral campaigns in many democracies. In India, the emergence of Hindutva as a political ideology has led to its exploitation as a potential vote bank. Hindutva, emphasizing the cultural and political dominance of Hinduism, has been utilized by certain politicians to consolidate Hindu votes. One aspect of vote bank politics related to Hindutva is the manipulation of religious identity for electoral gains. Some politicians strategically align themselves with Hindutva ideology to appeal to Hindu voters, highlighting the protection and promotion of Hindu interests. This targeted approach seeks to consolidate the Hindu vote bank by creating a sense of collective identity and mobilizing religious sentiments. The focus on Hindutva as a vote bank can marginalize religious and ethnic minorities in India. When politicians prioritize appeasing the Hindu majority to secure their votes, the concerns and rights of minority communities may be neglected or undermined. This approach perpetuates a sense of alienation and exclusion among minority groups, hindering their social and political empowerment. When politicians prioritize vote bank politics, particularly in the context of Hindutva, the focus on development and governance may suffer. Resources and attention that should be directed toward economic growth, social welfare, and infrastructure development may be diverted to appease a particular religious group for political gains. This undermines the overall progress and well-being of the nation. The democratic principles upon which India's governance is based encourage representation and participation from all sections of society, regardless of religious beliefs. Political parties and leaders have recognized the importance of securing votes from diverse religious communities, highlighting the necessity of inclusive policies. This acknowledgement signifies that the political landscape of India is not solely driven by Hindutva ideology. While India's ethos of pluralism has thrived throughout its history, recent years have witnessed certain challenges. Incidents of religious violence, polarizing rhetoric, and attempts to redefine Indian identity along religious lines have sparked concerns about the dilution of India's secular fabric. However, these challenges do not diminish the inherent diversity and pluralism that have characterized India for centuries. Hindutva, as a socio-political ideology, undoubtedly wields influence in contemporary India. It has shaped public discourse, political narratives, and policy decisions. However, it is essential to recognize that Hindutva represents a particular interpretation of Indian culture and identity, rather than an all-encompassing reality. India's true essence lies in the coexistence and synergy of various religious and cultural traditions. The question of whether India is truly Hindutva is a complex and highly debated one. While Hindutva has gained prominence in recent years and has influenced public discourse and political narratives, it does not represent the entirety of India's identity. India's historical plurality, secular foundations, religious harmony, democratic principles, and ongoing challenges to pluralism all attest to the fact that India's identity cannot be reduced to a singular religious worldview. Finally, whether India is Hindutva is a question that can only be answered by the Indian people themselves. However, it is clear that Hindutva is a significant force in Indian politics and society, and it will continue to be a major factor in the years to come. It is important to note that Hindutva is not monolithic. There are different strands of Hindutva, and not all of them are equally extreme. Some versions of Hindutva are more inclusive and tolerant, while others are more exclusivist and intolerant. Moving forward, it is crucial for India to uphold its secular foundations, promote interfaith harmony, and prioritize the well-being and progress of all its citizens. Embracing inclusivity and pluralism will enable India to flourish as a truly democratic and culturally vibrant nation, upholding the values of tolerance, unity, and respect for all its citizens. Thank you for watching. Remember to leave your thoughts and comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more engaging content. Until next time, keep exploring.